Alright, so today I'll be teaching you how to draw an eye. It is one of the most basic eye tutorials that I can give with simple lines and simple shading, so I hope it's as easy for you as it was for me. So to start, I am just going to draw the little water gland in the corner. I'm not going to put too much detail on it just because it's not as important to the eye, so I'm just going to start with that. After that, I'm going to draw the upper lid all the way around, like a big half moon shape, kind of, if you will. So once I'm done that, I'm going to do the same thing to the bottom. So once I've finished cleaning up my lines and darkening them a little bit, I'm going to draw the iris. So the iris is the big colored part in the middle of your eye. So for my eye, I'm going to draw it kind of looking up and off into space. So I'm going to draw my iris closer to the top of the eyelid. You can draw this in any position you want. Doesn't matter. So from here, I'm going to draw the pupil. The pupil is the black spot in the center of your iris. So I'm making mine kind of big just because it's easier to do and it's easier to judge where everything else is going to go whilst it's there. So from here, I am going to draw the eye shines. So the eye shines, I'm just kind of marking them out in the beginning so that I know where they are for later, so I know not to draw my dark lines through them. So I'm doing 3 eye shines, but that's my personal preference. If you want to only do 1, if you want to do 6, it is up to you. Just make sure that you draw the outlines for them first so that you know not to color them in. So from here, I'm going to draw little lines coming from the pupil all the way around. And after this, I decided to color in the pupil. I wasn't going to originally, so it's after the lines, color in the pupil. So now you have all around the pupil with these dark little lines. So we're going to do the same thing all around the outside of the iris. It doesn't matter where you start, I chose this corner, just as long as you get the same dark lines all the way around. So from here, I decided to fill in a ring around the iris. Upon further inspection of an eye, there is a dark ring around before where the lines start. So after I fill that in, I'm going to draw long lines from the pupil to the outside ring. These don't have to be very dark. They can if you want it to be a darker colored eye. But after all the shading that's going to happen later, it'll end up being dark anyway. So just draw the lines from the center to the outside. Alright, so now you have the lines from the pupil to the outside. So from here, we're going to fill in a darker ring all the way around the darkest ring that we have. So this will help give the illusion of depth of the eye. So once you've done that, you're just going to blend it in with your fingertip, with a paper towel, with tissue paper. It is up to you. I use my finger because it was here, and it was just easier to do that way. And you are going to blend it all the way around until it's all kind of smudgy and it starts to fit together. So now you have this completely blended eye. if you notice, there is a lighter part right around the middle. We're going to try and leave that light. So from here, we are going to redraw all the lines that we did in the center. So now we're going to draw dark lines from the outside inwards. This is so that it looks like the eye has a little more depth and makes it look a little more lifelike. So all the way around, dark lines pressing hard at the outside and going lighter towards the middle. Here, I'm just touching up my lines a little bit. If you think you're just fine, you don't need to. So I decided to erase the insides of my eye shines so that they look a little more white, and I drew a line around them. So from here, we're going to draw a line around the line that we already have for the eye. This will act as where the eyelid starts and where the hair begins to protrude from the eyelashes. So we're going to do it all the way around to the top of here, and we're also going to do it to the bottom. From here, we're going to add what is a faint outline of the eyelid. I'm not going into too much detail on this right now because we are just focusing mainly on the iris and the actual eyeball itself. But just to be easy, you draw a line all the way around from where the eye begins to where it ends on the top. So now we're going to start the eyelashes. So eyelashes are shorter towards the center of your eye and longer towards the outside. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to draw little lines that cross over each other because eyelashes cross. So it makes clumps all the way around, and we're just going to keep getting longer all the way to the end. So once you've finished filling out and filling in the top, we're going to start with the bottom. I start from the long side and work towards the short side, but that's just me. So I'm going to draw them all the way around, trying to make clumps, straightening out in the center, and getting small towards the inside. So from here, I'm just going to do a little bit of shading on the insides of the eye because there is a slight shadow from your eyelids. So I'm just making a dark line on and next to the inside lines. From here, just blend the inner corners, blend the upper lid, and erase and reblend until you're happy with what you have. Once you're happy with it, you have your first perfect eye.